Hi everyone, this is a very quick video looking at how to write a grade 5 to 8 short story for the EDUQAS GCSE English language, but you could use it for the narrative of any exam board. So I'm very quickly just going to show you an example. Remember though, in the story you have about 45 minutes and these are the 10 rules you need to follow. So do a plan, which I'm going to show you. Try to set your story over just 1 or 2 locations. Set it over a few minutes. It's easier to set it all in the past tense. Try to do 2.5 to 3 pages if you're writing with a pen, about 550 word count. Make it personal and realistic, a clear beginning, middle and end, an interesting opening closing line, show not tell, max 2 characters. So one setting over a few minutes, max 2 characters. The reason why we're going to limit ourselves to that is that the exam is only 45 minutes, you've only got 2.5 pages. So keep it nice and simple. So regarding the plan, this is the plan I'm going to do. One of the titles on the question was the present, so I've chosen to do the present. So this is a short story plan. So I would do a plan, 100% do a plan at the top of your answer page. On the exam question, it will say do a plan on the question paper. However, the examiner will not see the question paper, so I will always say do a little 3-point plan on the top of your answer page, and your 3 points are going to be your beginning, middle and end. So my beginning is going to be girl getting ready for a fancy dress party. Her problem, or her middle, is she arrives and it's not a fancy dress, and the ending of the story is going to be although she's a bit shocked, she enjoys being the centre of attention and she loves the party. So there you go, nice simple little story. Remember, in the stories it's not meant to be a big serious story, just a funny event, almost describing half an hour of someone's life. Okay, so let's have a look at them. So the present. Let's read it through. So why do these things always happen to me? I've always been that girl, the one who bumps into the furniture or spills their drink over a boy I fancy. I'd been looking forward to it for months. It was my chance to be the cool girl for once. It was going to be the party of the year. I'd spent hours getting ready. I've always loved a party, but the bit beforehand is just as great. I blasted out We Found Love through the speakers, danced around and watched myself in the mirror as I sang way better than Rihanna into my hairbrush. I spent a lifetime cleansing, exfoliating and moisturising, plucking and polishing, along with all the other things my dad rolls his eyes at when I talk about. I smiled at a reflection as I played with my bunny tail and drew on my whiskers. It was Katie's idea to go as a rabbit. I shrugged when she mentioned it, but secretly I loved the idea. Do you know the hardest part of my prettifying procedure? It was somehow doing my makeup as a Playboy bunny and making sure my fake tan didn't make me look like a huge carrot. I just about pulled it off. As I arrived in the taxi, I skipped down the driveway and took in the mansion before me. The lawn was like Buckingham Palace and I felt like a princess. Well, a rabbit princess if that exists. As the door opened, I hopped in and looked into the lush hallway. My heart sank. I stood under the hot glares of each and every person around me, not knowing if I should laugh or cry. There was no Peter Pans, pirates or princesses in sight. I was the only one in fancy dress. All I could hear was whispering and sniggering. I think someone even oinked. Didn't you get the message? A girl I didn't know hissed. It's not fancy dress. No, I didn't, I replied as I was panning the room trying to find something to hit her with. Only joking, I'm a nice rabbit after all. I looked down at myself. In that split second, I looked at my whiskers in the reflection of the stained glass windows and grinned. I pushed up my white plush bunny tail I'd stitched on the back of my dress. I strode to the dance floor with an ocean of eyeballs following me. The triggering turned to smiling and clapping as I strutted in my bunny costume. As I started to dance, the song changed. I whooped as Rihanna's We Found Love screamed through the speakers. As the song went on, I heard the front door slam shut and a little scream from a voice I recognised. As the figure trudged towards me, I could see a pair of rabbit ears bobbing above the crowd. This is so embarrassing, Katie groaned. What are you talking about? I smiled, clearly taking Katie by surprise. I think we look fantastic. Quickly, the worst night ever turned into the best one. I smiled as I thought to myself, why do these things always happen to me? And the word count is 536, so within my time. Okay, so it's a nice little story. Okay, one thing you'll notice straight away is that it's the first line, okay, and the final line are the same. Okay, so that's a good little circular writing. It sort of brings the writing sort of back from start to beginning. It's a nice way that would impress the examiner if you can work out how to do it. So let's quickly go for a few little things that this person did. First of all, it's a nice little story. It's a funny little story that you can imagine happening to a party. it does seem like this has been written by a teenage girl who knows all about doing makeup and stuff like that. So, why do these things always happen to me? Rhetorical question, okay? Immediately in this paragraph, it gives us a bit of a clue about what kind of person this girl is. She seems probably like someone she'd be quite popular and someone who's quite funny, okay? It was going to be the party of the year, setting up the rest of the story. Okay, so the next paragraph, it takes place in one place, and it's all about the girl getting ready, isn't it? So I'd spent hours getting ready. I'd always loved the party. I blasted out. So we can imagine the girl getting ready. Okay, speakers danced around and watched myself, blah, blah, blah. So I spent a lifetime cleansing, exfoliating. So she's using ambitious language there. And then she's also given us a sign of what a dad's like. So it's show not tell. So we're not saying the dad is frustrated or annoyed. Rolling his eyes, that tells us all about the dad. Also, she doesn't just say straight away it's a fancy dress costume. She hints at it to the reader and lets the reader work it out for him or herself, saying she doesn't say I'm a rabbit, she says my bunny tail when I drew on my whiskers. Okay, so again we've got a rhetorical question here and alliteration with prettifying procedure. And we've got a simile here, make her look like a huge carrot, and we also end with a nice little short sentence for effect. So that sets up the rest of the story and it brings attention to it. Okay, so again we've got we've got a couple of similes here in a row. Like Buckingham Palace, felt like a princess. Again, a little bit of humour with a rabbit princess, if that exists. Again, we're using small sentences for effect, to keep getting the reader involved. There are no Peter Pans, pirates or princesses in sight. So again, we've got power of three, and we've got a bit of alliteration here. A bit of humour again with I think someone even oinked. Remember, it's sensory language. If she's telling us what we can hear, the reader can picture him or herself being that. Okay, so here we've got a bit of direct speech. So we don't want to use a lot of direct speech in the story, but a little bit here. Yeah, so we get to see her interacting with other people. Again, a bit of humour with, I was planning to try and hit her. She doesn't mean literally she's going to hit her. Okay, I looked down on myself, and then this is a nice little change. So a cliched ending of the story would be the girl would run off in tears and go home. But this girl takes a second, she seems quite intelligent, takes a second and actually thinks to herself, oh, actually, this can be a fun thing. Okay, so again, she's not talking about a costume in just telling us in a boring way. I looked at my whiskers in my reflection, so we can picture this girl looking at herself in the mirror. Okay, I strode to the dance floor. Again, show not tell. Yeah, strode and strutted tell us that the girl was in a confident mood. Maybe not a not so successful story would have just gone, I walked to the dance floor, I walked in my bunny costume. But strode and strutted tell us this girl was in a confident mood. Okay, again with a bit of alliteration with woot, so it tells us the girl is happy. And then we've also got we found love scream through the speakers, so a bit of personification there. Okay, again this little bit here is quite interesting. It doesn't just tell us straight away the friend who she spoke about at the beginning came in. She says, I've recognised a voice, I could see the rabbit hairs bobbing above the crowd. So the reader can start to think, oh actually this girl's wearing fancy dress too. Okay, also a bit of direct speech here. We've got a nice little interesting sentence starter with quickly, nice way of starting the sentence. And like I said, we end with why did these things always happen to me? So that links back to our first line here. Okay, so there you go, that's it. If you want to have a look at the copy of it, go to bbcenglish.wordpress.com. You can get a copy of this. It's a successful story. It follows all of the things here and the 10 rules. If you follow these guidelines, you will be successful in the exam. Good luck in the GCSE.